What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome back. Feliz Navidad to everyone. Happy Merry Christmas. This is your boy Hebot coming at you with a new episode of Toys in My Closet. And as you can see, I have in front of me today the brand new release of the Masters of the Universe Stinkor figure from the Revelations Netflix series, and the homage of Stinkor from the Four Horsemen from the Mythic Legion Four Horsemen figure line. And everyone that should already know that this reason for this to exist here is because of the work that the Four Horsemen have done in the past for Masters of the Universe. They are sculptors in the industry that have been around for a very long time, and they are the ones responsible for the sculpting of all the classics figures and even WWE figures for Mattel when Masters Classics was available via the Matty Collector shop. Now, these figures here from Mythic Legions are the Four Horsemen's brand new, or not brand new, but their own figure line that they created with different creatures and characters when they went independently away and did stuff on their own and weren't really working for other companies like Mattel. So their vision was to always create their own line of wizards and dragons and barbarians, orcs, elves, and all kinds of stuff. And that was because they were inspired, and it came from their love for Motu from the vintage Motu figures, like the original Master of the Universe figure toys from back in the 80s. And they've always done a phenomenal job. Now, for what I know was with the Revelations, they had sculpted the Mossman figure for Wave 1. From that point on, I don't know if they have touched any of the figures as far as the sculpting for Wave 1, for Wave 2 or 3, which, had figures like Spikor, Man-at-Arms, Wave 3 having Stinkor, Fisto, and Scareglow, so forth and so forth. Now, the reason why I want to do these two together today is because obviously there are many Stinkor variations and figures for comparison, but I got them both at the same time because they both recently released to the public at the same time. I got my hands on this Stinkor from Revelations via Big Bad Toy Store, and I got my Stinkor homage from Mythic Legions, which was a PowerCon exclusive, or originally was at PowerCon this year, through the mail not that long ago. So I figured, why not just review them together respectively so people can get an idea of what the existence of this figure is and where it came from, if that makes any sense. And plus, I thought it would be pretty cool, since it's a unique situation that presents itself. So sit back, relax, have yourself a digital drink, and I hope you join me for the ride and for my review and thoughts of these figures and what they have to offer. And I hope you enjoy. So I'll see you guys really, really soon. And we'll start off with the review, taking a quick look at the boxes. So not to take too much time, here are the boxes in their own respective, presentation. Mythic Legions has a very sleek window box, very long, elongated type of box, as we all know, with the word Mythic Legions in the bottom going across, all the way, coming to the top, showing the stuff like the symbol of the Four Horsemen, which is this, that's from their studio. And then, of course, when we look at these are actually a resealable packaging, which is really cool. And here is a picture of the figure, which his name is from there. I think it's mephitor. His name is Mephitor, and he has a little bio, of course, as you see there. And then there's actually a cross cell. A cross cell in the back, showing you, you know, obviously other figures in this wave, as you see there. Let's try to, there we go. You can see the other figures in the wave, which look cool. And you have a wonderful picture in the back of this figure character, as you see. This looks awesome. And then on the other side, it's just, and it says 4 horsemen there in the corner, boom, like so. And then on the other side, it has this symbol that I guess stands for the class of figure that, you know, mephitor is, you know, considered from in their Mythic Legion world. So that's one thing. Then you have here the Revelations box. So bring right forward. This is Revelations with the font of the new show, like so. Stinkor, Netflix there, the Netflix logo there in the corner, as you see there. And the Netflix logo, ages 6 and up, Masters of the Universe across the top, as you see, which you can actually push down. And you see also that it says 30 points of articulation. Then on the side, you see that it has, you know, the Stinkor name, Evil Master of Order. And then in the side here, you have a wonderful, beautiful artwork of Stinkor coming across down. Looks gorgeous. And then in the back, another beautiful shot of Stinkor as well, with the cross cell of the figures available in this wave, as you can see. And when you look straight down, you see it says, has like a little bio of Stinkor as well. There you go. It says, what's that smell? If it's overpowering enough to overwhelm a steaming pile of garbage, like, that can only mean one thing: Stinkor. Give you an idea, there's the beautiful artwork, which I believe is by Edmund from the, you know, Rose Kubo dinner over there with Pixel Dan and Van Staples. So, and he does phenomenal work. So, you know, they both keep up in the tradition and the same motif. If you guys have been collecting Revelations, you know what to expect. And if you've been collecting Mythic Legions, you also know what to expect. So, pretty much it's the same thing. So, for the Advent, you know, mint on card collector, this is going to be just wonderful, because it keeps up in the tradition that the figures, you know, come packaged in, and, you know, you don't have to worry about losing maybe the style and look of your collection on your wall. So now let's take a look at each individual figure. So here we're going to start with none other than Mephitor. And as you can see, Mephitor is very beautiful. It keeps the same style, look, and motif of the original figure, or of the Stinkor figure for that matter. He is an homage, paying respects to that character in the He-Man world and lore. And I believe, and I feel like the 4 Horsemen has done a phenomenal job. As you can see here, we're going to take a closer look, and Mephitor actually looks like, you know, a skunk man in this world. Let's see. There we go. Looks really nice with the white and the yellow eyes. And the other thing that's cool too, if you notice, is that he looks very, how you call it, like furry. There's a lot of fur and then indications all around his head. And it's really well painted all the way to the back. Pretty clean with the white stripe, the white on the nose, and then the white around the eyes. Then you have the collar with, you know, has the actual teeth coming up, making it look very medieval with the red. And then the collar that Stinkor would have that basically covered the face if it was up a little bit more, but it's not. But it's still cool with the plate armor. Then on the side, which is the side actual armor, which would be, you know, the shoulder pads going down. It's more like a silver, but it's supposed to be like the white stripe, but they left that silver and kind of white to give it the feel like it's the stripe, but also an armor, because this is a smaller armored figure. This is, you know, you see the orange here, really nice orange on the actual elbow. The gauntlet for the what you call the gauntlet for the forearm, right? Then you have the actual gloves, looking really nice as well, in red. Coming down to the waist area, you see that he has the black body underneath, coming out of the armor with that red, really nice red, matte red painting on the belt, with this design on the harness, and then this glossy red. It looks almost like a pearl in the middle of the buckle. His, you know, fur cloth loin that actually comes out. Look, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. That actually comes out. And you can pop it right back in. Because the Mythic Legions are built almost like Goliaths to a certain extent. Then you got his arm, but his leg, the thigh area, but it's actually covered by the illusion of a, you know, the actual like armor protecting it. And then the armor changes from that black, from the knee part going down to the shin and the feet, into that orange to give it that nice effect. The boots should have probably been like a red color, or the feet area, to match better the fact of Stinkor, but either way, still pretty cool. You see how he has spikes coming down, and then the straps on the side, as you see there, with those straps. Wants to just, you know, with the straps there. Looking really nice. You see them there too. So yeah, that is mephitor, and he looks really, really good. I think it's a really nice interpretation of what you know, of what Stinkor looks like, and he's also very small, which is kind of appropriate if you ask me, in the sense that, you know, he is supposed to be a skunk man, and I think that's very appropriate. More so than in the classics and obviously Revelation, because of the fact that, you know, it's a much bigger figure. So now let's take a quick look at what the Revelation Stinkor goes. So we move him right over, and we'll bring in the Revelation Stinkor. And there you have it. Revelation Stinkor in all of its glory. And as you can see there, he is also a very, very different look, like more anime style, but at the same time very much a familiar look for Stinkor, as we know him and grown up to know him over the years, and different He-Man iterations and multiple iterations in toys since the 2000X, which he never really got a figure, but he did get a extraction from none other than NECA. So we'll bring him in closer and take a better look at him. of course. So what we do is now, we'll bring this up just so we can look at him better. Just like so. And then we'll pull the camera back like so. And we'll zoom in on Brother Stinkor over here. We'll take a quick look first at his. Taking a quick look first at his head. As you can see his face. It is kind of menacing and cool, but I don't like that. I don't like that the head, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. This bad boy. There we go. That's a better look at him. I don't like that. It kind of looks almost like a cat instead of a skunk, if that makes any sense. Especially when you compare it to the artwork that you see on the box. And then he does have the nice shade of blue. The cat looking eyes going down. And the white around them, you know. You can see the teeth marks. The stripe starting from on top of the head. Like so. Right here. Going all the way around. And you can see his tanks to let him breathe, because his own smell is so potent that he can't breathe himself. And they're nicely sculpted and painted with blue and grays. With the orange, these don't pull out. But this is a homage and touch based off the actual 2000X design from the Four Horsemen. And this is a nice light orange with the red there, and then this is kind of like a burgundy. You see the hands. They made him kind of brolic this time around. He's a lot more built. With the nice white going down. Mine's have a little scuff there though on the top. And then going down with a nice, you know, design in the corners, making it look like his hairs, you know, where it's painted. Gives it that effect that it's the hairs painted. And his gloves being regular red with the loincloth looking almost like a burgundy champagne. And nice matte red belt. Loincloth being a little longer, of course, than the thighs and legs. You see they're all cat-like with fur or animal-like. Like a skunk, going all the way down to his monster feet, which you see the boots are red, and they push in on his feet that look like monster feet, that's the way it looked like on the vintage figure, or something similar to it. It was more like in a different type of shape, but still monster feet. So the black is very nice with the off-white, and the design looks really good. He has a really good look to him. He looks very much like he did in the animation of Revelations. Absolutely looked really good. And you know, on top of that, can't complain because they still kept the true design of what he looks like in the Revelations cartoon, which is, you know, hard to do sometimes, especially, you know, since interpreting animation into cartoon plastic is not an easy task. Not at all, you know, and not for any stretch of the imagination. Especially as artists, they know this, how hard it really is. So let's zoom in there. So there you have it. There is the Stinkor. So now let's take a look at their accessories that each of them come with individually. What's up, guys? Welcome back. And here we have Mephitor with his accessories. And as you can see, like all Mythic Legions, they always come pretty well stacked. To be honest, this one is not as stacked, you know, as others, but nonetheless, comes with some nice amount of accessories. So first we'll take a quick look at what he comes, which is standard for a lot of them, which is this actual strap that goes across of his body, and as you can see, has nice weathering with a matte and kind of shiny look, kind of to give you the illusion that it's you know, that it's battle worn and that it's older, and the leather kind of worn out on it, which is a very, very nice look and touch. And a lot of Legions come with that particular, you know, with that particular strap. You can put it either across the waist, or if not across the waist, you can put it in his back. Then we have the other portrait that he comes with, which is definitely very cool. It's all in black with the yellow eyes and teeth. This looks like a troll. It looks like one of those trolley figures that everybody be liking right now. I think they're called trolleys. I'm not sure. I know Foosh is really big on them, and Toy Bro. Shout outs to them. Although, you know, it looks very nice. It is very well sculpted. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. You might see my face there. Although it's very well sculpted and very nice, I honestly will never use this. Ever. At all. I do not want to use this, because the whole point of getting him was because I don't collect Mythic Legions like that. But the whole point of getting him is because I love He-Man, and the homage is really what drove me more to the appeal of picking these guys up. Although I have picked up some Legions, you know, along the way that are pretty cool looking, but mainly I got the ones that are homages to Masters of the Universe. So moving right along, we got his classic shield, which is the same color as Stinkor's classic shield, in that blue. Has that little peg there, because this comes separate as a piece. Plug this in like so that you can hold it in his hand, and I'll demonstrate it here real quick. Push that in like so, right in there, and there you have it. Voila, it comes in there. So very nice, very nicely done. Then we'll move right along, and we'll take a look at his sword that he comes with. Which Stinkor never came with a sword, but this is cool that he came with. You see how beautifully painted it is, with the wonderful, wonderful blue accents and mats on the actual hilt, right? As you see there. Then you see the metallic blue on the actual tip, on the bottom tip of the sword. I forget what it's called. This is the main, right? I forget what that's called. Oh my god. Coming across with the silver on the sword, painted really nice gunmetal silver, giving it the illusion of a real sword, which looks really good. Very nice. Then he comes with two additional shoulder pauldrons, which these are spectacular. They look wonderful. Look at that, with the weathering on top. Really nicely looking. That kind of dirtyish look. Oh, and then it has that gold there in the front. I don't know what that gold is actually, that design is for, but it's there. And you plug it in from the back. You see that weathering all over it with that nice orange that matches his armor. And he brings, you know, obviously one for the right side and one for the left side. And then last but certainly not least, he has the actual, you know, bow and arrow. Really nice. With that nice gunmetal silver going across. And an actual rope in brown that you can actually clip on there. Really nice detail. And you see it has the hilt and this little piece here that is to basically connect this to the strap if you want to put it on his back. Now, although I like this very much because of the straight handle on it and the way that the figures are designed, with their joints, it never looks quite right in the way they hold it. It's very cool and I appreciate it, but I don't really use them a lot because I don't like the way it looks when they hold them in the hand. And I'll show you that here in a second. So now what I'll do is I'll take a quick pause and show you guys with mephitor with all the accessories on so you can see what it looks like. And here it is. Here it is, guys. Here's mephitor with all the accessories. I told you he looks really cool with all the accessories on. Adds a lot of layers of spunk to the figure, and it makes him pop big time. And you see, like, it looks really nice. It works well. With the shoulder pauldrons on, you see that the sword is on the actual, the actual strap going around him, which you pop on. It looks like this from the back, and then the shield. But then look, this is what I don't like about the actual arrow. Whole arrow I feel had to do with a different type of handle, so it doesn't look like he's holding it like this, underhanded every time. And it's the only way you can put it to him, because he doesn't come with extra hands that actually are facing forward there, so that it could look like he's holding it straight, if that makes any sense. And so that's why I don't like the look of how it looks. So what I usually tend to do is I'll just pull out the sword and I'll take out the actual arrow, and I'll make him carry the arrow in the back, like an extra weapon, like so. I try to do it like that. You can see it across his entire back. And then I just give him the sword. And I think he looks way cooler like this, because it doesn't look kind of weird or kind of off the way it does when in the direction he holds, the actual, in the direction of how he holds the actual arrow going out. No, it just doesn't look right. So, that's how it is. I don't really like it. So that is how mephitor looks with all the accessories. And like I said, it looks cool. But I think he just stands out a lot better if he had the sword in his hands, like so. So if you guys want to see what it looks like real quick, with the other head, I'll just pull this one off, like so, and I will push the other one. This is really uncomfortable on my back. And he still looks cool with this head too, but it looks like a different figure now in character, as you can see. Oop. There is what he looks like with that head on the figure, like so. Push back a little bit, and then you put the other one here in the front. So, but then it no longer feels like, the homage to Stinkor, even though it has a lot of similarity. So, real quick, I'll show you guys his articulation, and then we'll take a look at Stinkor's from Revelations. So, for his articulation, we'll start with his head, which moves left, right, moves up, or looks up that much, looks down that much, and it definitely has nice, swivel. Now, the shoulders, even though it has the pauldron, goes up that much. If you remove the pauldron, or the shoulder pauldron, right, it can go up just a little more. It has no bicep cut, a single in the elbow, which also has a swivel. And then he has the rotation. Then you have the rotation on the wrist, and this one goes in and hinges out like so. Then he has a cut here on the upper part of the torso, which allows a really nice range of movement. He goes left like so, right like so. He has a little bit forward like that with the upper torso, and he has a little bit backwards like that with the back movement. Then he has the actual waist cut or waist swivel, which also allows you to bend them down that much, which is a nice amount of range. And then he can move back and hyperextend that much. Now I need to point out that mephitor here is it's a smaller scale figure, obviously. It's about 4 inches in scale, 4.5 maybe. Then he has the weight, and he can split and do the Van Damme split. And then he has a nice swivel here that's hidden really well. Really well right there with the actual armor. Then he has one in the knees. He has a single in the knees that goes up like so. As you can see, I have some paint markings. It goes up a nice amount. And then he has the ankle, which goes back this much, which is a lot. And then it goes forward that much. And it has the ankle rocker. No tip, articulation, but he can kick up this much up, like so. Like that. And he can kick back a whole lot as well, without looking too abnormal, right, so to speak. So yeah, that is what he offers as far as articulation. So very good in the articulation department for the Mythic Legion's mephitor. Now let's take a look at Stinkor. Okay guys, and here we have Stinkor from the Masters of the Universe Revelation line. Now we have to keep in mind that the mephitor is a more premium product created by an independent company, and he runs from the price range from 35 all the way to 55 or 50 depending on where you get them in the aftermarket or in third-party market. Stinkor is a $19.99 suggested retail price figure. He's 7 inches in height, and he also comes with a nice amount of accessories. In his case, he actually has some cool ones because he comes with an extra head. But this is what he brings. So that is something you have to keep in mind versus that the mephitor comes with a little bit more, but you pay more, obviously. And this guy came with some really cool things, like an interchangeable hands or extra set of hands. So the extra set of hands that it brings is the open hand, which is supposed to be for the shield, and then he has an open grip for the right hand because he has, as you see there, a open closed fist like fisticuff. Meanwhile, he has a open hand for the left as well to hold the weapons that he has and brings, which in this case he doesn't bring much, but you know what I mean. Then he brings his classic shield, looking very nice with a nice metallic blue on it, as you can see there. Looks really nice, really nicely put together, as you see. And then he brings his mask that was introduced in 2000X. It goes around his face with the little pin inside. Only difference is you can't put him on that portrait as well. You can only put it on this portrait, which for me is my favorite one because he looks more menacing, as you can see there. It's really, really cool. Nice amounts of detail all over. Would have been cool to have some whites up here, but I don't think that's how the classic Origins was, but looks really good. With the stripe on the top. The blue and the open mouth kind of rolling, but I kind of like this one. It's a little more menacing, so what you do is you put the mask like so in the pin right over, and it's not form fitted. It actually looks really good around. So let's put on the accessories on him real quick so you guys can see what he looks like with the accessories on. And here you have Stinkor with all of his accessories and the interchange head, and this is how I prefer to look for him. He was very cool, very menacing, really nice update to the original, and even really nice and different to the classic. So here we go, and here we, just to show you, you see how he has the nice, mask around his face, like so. Really cool. And then I put the shield on him. I kind of forced it with this hand because when you put it with the other hand that's flat, it works, it definitely works, but the problem is that when you do that, for some odd reason, I don't know why, because that was the original intended way to use it. You slide it in, right? So it's like a karate chop hand. For some wild reason, it has a tendency to slide off. So I like the way it looks, but it has a tendency to slide off. So I kind of left it with that one so it wouldn't. So that's what it looks like with all of the accessories. This, obviously the backpack is sculpted on, as you see. And yeah, so he looks really, really awesome. He looks really fantastic. So there you go. I was trying to say that it slides off. So now, there you go. Perfect example. As you see, I just pushed him back, and it was starting to slide off. So now what we'll do is, I'll give you an example of what his articulation has to offer, which is pretty reminiscent and par for the course, but nonetheless, just show it to you if you've never seen it before, you're new to the channel and never really familiarize yourself with the Revelations figure. So I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. So we'll start off with the head, as you see here, and the head does move left, it moves right. So when you want to see what it looks like moving backwards, there really isn't much give due to the sculpting and how it is. And this is a rubber piece. This is pretty rubbery. It doesn't really interfere, and it is removable. So he looks down, as you can see, it popped off. He looks down that much, you can see. And then you can fill it back up, and he has barely no tilt, which is kind of a shame, but it is what it is. Let's see if Mattel fixed the ball joint mechanism. Then he has here a signal on the shoulder that goes up that much. It goes around 180 degrees. No butterfly joint, just like the Mythic Legion, but he does have a bicep swivel, and he does have a double jointed elbow. So it's nice and round, as you can see, and it's pinless, if you can see as well, which is really nice. Really nice touch. Then in the hands, it has a joint swivel that goes out this way, and a joint swivel that goes up that way. So the joint swivel is there. There's no up and down on this side. He does have a torso and a waist mechanism. So in the waist, he does have the waist swivel. But in the torso, he does have some movement. but he can move left and right and kind of look, move forward a little bit like so, and hyperextend back a little like so as well. And like I said, the armor is removable. You can remove it, and it will reveal, that he has that torso. As you can see, you see that there it goes in rotation. So it is there. It just is not as can't really use it as much with the armor on, or the illusion of the armor. So as far as the legs go here, they split out a whole bunch like Van Damme, complete Van Damme, split. I do have a thigh swivel. There's a thigh swivel, and he does have a double on the knee, which he can kick up that much, almost to his rear end. Then on the foot, it goes back about that much, which is a lot, and then goes forward about that much. And then he has a nice boot cut as well, right there, so that you can swivel it. So, as far as articulation, the Revelations, Masters of the Universe, whether people may want to accept it or not, whether people may get mad at me or not, and with others, by far, and this includes the classics, has a much better broad range of articulation, so that you can actually pose these figures in more dynamic poses. So the only thing that really constrains them is maybe an armor, or if not the armor, maybe the layout of how they look, how they're sculpting it, like the sculpting of the character. That's the only thing that kind of gets in the way, that will hold it back. So now let's, do some comparisons with all the many faces of Stinkor, because one thing that is there's a lot of Stinkors, which is kind of wild, because he's a figure that wasn't really popular growing up. And the sad part is, this figure, just like Mephitor, do not have that patchouli smell that was injected in the original vintage and in the classics. Just to give you guys that detail, for those of you that are curious, he does not smell. He just smells like that, like plastic smell of figures. So, give me a second, I'll be right back with all the comparisons of Stinkor. And here you have it, guys. Like I told you, these are the many faces of Stinkor. Stinkor, especially as of late, has had a nice amount of releases. I'm literally only missing the original vintage Stinkor figure. And obviously Mondo hasn't done one, which I wouldn't be surprised they'll do one with the matted arm buck, and kind of, use those parts. I mean, with the merman that they already made and that exist somewhere down the road. I'm pretty sure. But nonetheless, and with the matted arms, body armor that looks very close to this, they might do it, or they'll do an original sculpt. Either way, coming down this way, from the left to my left to your right, you'll see that they're very different. I have the origin Stinkor, which I thought he might have smelled, but he didn't smell. And as you can see, what I was trying to tell you guys about the feet, those were the feet that he had originally, as you see there. Then I have the classics one, which I told my daughter to yellow out the eyes to make him look more menacing, because I always like that look, that real menacing look that he has. And you can see he has, the backpack from 2000X, the actual mask in his face. This one, the head doesn't move, because it broke on me, the peg, and I never got a new peg, and so it's glued on. But I have a replacement one put away in box, so from Classics. So you know, I was lucky enough to get one before they skyrocketed in price. And you'll notice that the loincloth in Classics and in Origins is much smaller, and then they have the same orange on the feet, like the original, as you see there, which they didn't do the orange on the new one. It's red, with the same type of foot. And the only thing that was missing was this pistol that they gave him in 2000X, but it's cool, as you can see. Then you know that this was the 2000X design, which is the nicest looking design, in my personal opinion, of Stinkor. I think he looks the best. He looks absolutely stunning with those neon green and yellowy eyes. The actual, you know, lines of the gas coming through the piece in the front. All those attention to little details. His belt, you see all the intricacies and you know, and mechanical things that connect to his actual backpack. The loincloth being longer, his feet looking monstrous, but at the same time more mechanical and detailed and futuristic. His actual, you know, shield comes out of his gauntlet piece there, as opposed to holding it in the hands. As you see, this is what it looks like on the other side. The gauntlet, this looks really good. And then, you know, the tanks, of course, being really detailed as well. I love the way this Stinkor statue looks. I think it's the best look. This was from the forest, when you see it in the back of the belt. It has way more detail as well. And I just absolutely adore it. Love this thing. I'm glad I have it, even though it doesn't move, because as a piece of, you know, art, of a depiction of Stinkor, I think it's wonderful. So I love that I have it still in my possession. It goes really expensive nowadays, so it's hard to get. It used to be literally a $20 or $15 staction. Then you have the Loyal Subject one that came out sometime like 2 years ago. It's really nice, really cute. With the shield, very reminiscent. Only thing is missing is like red. A lot of paint apps of the red. It's more of just the orange and on the black, and they, you know, paint apps are missing. But these little figures are fully articulated too, which are nice, even though they're smaller. Then we have the Eternium Minis. This one came out not that long ago either, from the continuation of the Mattel Mini line, when they first started them as minis, but they were kind of bigger. Then they changed the scale to even smaller to charge a cheaper price. These come in individual boxes now, but the nice thing is that they come numbered, so you'll know which one it is. You won't miss out. You won't have to buy the blind bag, kind of blind bag format, but it gives you the code so you know which one it is. And now the new ones come where it's a window box, so nobody has to fight over it. And then the Mega Construx, which is an excellent little figure. So much paint, so much detail, and it articulates really well. Look at that, it even has some detail on the boots and the feet, like his toes are coming out. Really excellent knockout job. Mega Construx from Mattel is their version of Lego, basically. And these figures are really incredible. Yeah, they're $4.99 for one figure, but look at the type of detail. Like I said, they're articulated. You got waist swivel, for Christ's sakes. Jesus Christ. Head movement. You see? You know, movement in the arms. Even, you know, articulation in the elbows, in the legs, the feet. They're just great little figures. Even with the vehicles, it looks fantastic. So yeah, so that is the comparison of all the Stinkors. Plus obviously the one in the middle, which is Mephitor. So there you have it, guys. Those are all the Stinkor. So what I'll do is show maybe a few more comparisons side by side with him, so you can have an idea what other, lines, what he looks like, and then we'll, end the review from there. So here they are next to a Masters of the Universe Revelations He-Man and another Mythic Legions that is obviously a bigger scale that is supposed to be in 7" of the Spartan warrior here, which I believe his name is Vitus. I think it is. I think it's Vitus. I could be wrong, but I believe it's Vitus. She looks like a nice Spartan, as you can see. Then we can move right along and compare him here. Moving right along, we can compare him to some other scales, like, let's see, some other stuff up here. Let's bring in a NECA Defenders of the Earth Phantom, and then we can bring in a DC I think it was DC Universe from Mattel Vigilante figure, as you can see there. You can see how they scale right there. Different sizes, obviously, but they still look nice. Nice together. If you have them like in your shelves, obviously, they still scale pretty nice, right? So let's bring them here to bring some other comparisons, and we'll have them next to, let's see, bring them next to a Marvel Legends Hercules, original comic book, and next to the let's bring in a Wing Gundam. So you can see these are 6" scales from Gundam Universe. And again, like you see there, different lines, different scales, but still together side by side, they look very, very, very nice on a toy shelf, as you can see right there. So now what I'll do is we'll give my final thoughts on these two guys and let you know what I think as far as what they have to offer. So guys, here we have it. Here are the Masters of the Universe Revelations Stinkor and the Mythic Legion mephitor Stinkor homage from the Four Horsemen. And what can I say? Both of these figures are fantastic additions to your collection, especially if you're Masters of the Universe fans. And if you're a fan of the character, even if you don't like Masters of the Universe as a whole, but like, let's say, particular characters, and this is one of your favorite because it's fun, it's different, unique. The fact that, that he is a skunk man. Either way, I think you can't go wrong. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised and pretty happy. I completely recommend both of them to add on, and they're both pretty reasonably priced. They're not too bad, so you can get them for a good price, obviously with the upper hand to the Revelations, because it's only suggested at a retail price of $19.99, which is $20 US American dollars. mephitor, obviously it's a different story. He's independent, so you got to go to a third-party seller, and they're basically He basically goes for like 45, 50, and 55 in some places. If you get it right from 4horsemen.com, when they did the pre-orders, for example, he was only $34.99. So I give it a thumbs up, and I think they're definitely worth putting in or adding on to your collection. I highly recommend them. They're very nice, very fun, and very unique in their own right. Different interpretations of Stinkor, looking very different yet very familiar, respecting the source material from the original vintage and now origins. So guys, give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. Share the video with someone you think might like it. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you liked it. I hope it was good enough for you to want to come back. Now, if you subscribed for the first time, thank you, because I know you didn't have to. And to be honest, it means the world to me, because, you know, it's not an obligation. But if you did, just remember, I consider you now part of my family. As always, to all you that continue to give me support day in, day out, since I've been here from the very beginning, showing me the love, showing me the respect, showing me the dedication. Without you guys, my channel would not be sustained. So to you, thank you from the heart. You mean the world to me, and I appreciate all you guys have done for me. Now, you can find me on social media under C_respect on Instagram, and on Twitter you can find me under the most powerful gaming historian. You can also find me on Xbox Live or something like that, like PSN Network under Hebot8 on Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch, and the PSN Network under Alfell from Sky, if you choose to hit me up there. If you guys ever want to donate anything to my channel that you want me to, you know, review or highlight, it would be an honor. It would be my pleasure to do so. Just hit me up in one of those DMs and we'll work out the particulars. Now, if you want to help out my channel directly, which would help me a ton and make, you know, go a long way, that is also a very big welcome. You can also do so if you choose to, or from the kindness of your heart, with the information down in the description below, with my Patreon information and my PayPal. Again, not obligated, only if you want to help me out and have the means to, because you love what I do. Guys, this is your boy, your host, Hebot, signing off with another exciting and new episode of Toys in My Closet. And remember, keep collecting, have fun doing it, but remember, we're still in trying times, so do it being respectful and considerate to others. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.